Oh, so you thought I was only hating on Colorado resorts. Well, you couldn't be more wrong. Oh no, today we're talking about Texas's exclave in New Mexico, Angel Fire. And I know where everyone's from by the sheer volume of Stars, Mavs, Cowgirls, and Rangers jerseys there are. And Angel Fire's got a run called Texas Flats, which lives up to its name. I'm sure y'all can figure that one out. It's not shown on the trail map because I guess that's not something you want to advertise. You're going to see me skiing a grand total of 4 different runs in this video because that's all that Angel Fire had open when I visited. We'll get into all that we just previewed and so much more. So without further ado, welcome to A Hater's Guide to Angel Fire. A quick disclaimer before we begin. Everything said in this video is just for the purpose of making a joke and does not represent any legitimate review of the resort. Alright, now, when you're skiing in Texas, you see the darndest things. I mean, people will do anything and everything to avoid wearing a helmet. Just a few of the alternatives I saw employed included a motorcycle helmet, a beanie, a cowboy hat, absolutely nothing, a scarf, a baseball cap, a construction hard hat, a coat hood, just a ski mask, a hoodie, just sunglasses, just goggles, and goggles over sunglasses, which, for some odd reason, seems slightly redundant. It is not that hard to just wear a helmet, people, but if all y'all want to head back to Texas dumber than you came, have at it. I won't stop you. Another of the crazy things I saw was a guy who was too busy vaping to pull out his lift ticket to be scanned, and as such was holding up the whole line. It's better than everyone who was just blocking the entrance to the line, though. The highest proportion of skiers at Angel Fire by far is people who are learning to ski for the first time, and this leads to a lot of consequences that you could never see anywhere else. For example, I had never seen someone get taken off in a sled by ski patrol off not a black, not a blue, and not even a true green, but the freaking bunny hill. How is it even possible to get that injured on the bunny hill? Like, the slope of that thing makes it impossible to get faster than about 3 miles per hour. Now, because of all the learners, the mountain as a whole just has zero awareness. Every way you turn, it's beginner skiing way above their ability level. I saw one girl just straight up walking down Headin' Home at 3:45 carrying her snowboard. Like, if Headin' Home is too difficult for you, then what were you doing all morning? There is only one mountain that I've ever seen this at, but the longest lift line time-wise at Angel Fire is the line for Dreamcatcher, the Bunny Hill lift. But what's really funny is if you were to watch at about 12:30, all of those lost-looking, helmet-lacking pizza skiing menaces switch from Dreamcatcher to Chile. I call it the Great Migration, and if you value your life, you will take my word and avoid Headin' Home at all costs from the time of the Great Migration until the end of the day. I swear that some of the people on Headin' Home in the afternoon are completely redefining death before download. Of course, sometimes, like during my trip, you're forced to take Headin' Home because literally nothing else is open. I think that something that could help with the Great Migration would be a 3 strikes and you're out system for falling while unloading the lift. Like, after you make the lift stop for the 3rd time, you're just not allowed to ride the lifts again. I think I could write an entire hater's guide just for the run called Headin' Home. I mean, if you thought Schoolmarm was bad, Headin' Home has a leg up in nearly everything on Schoolmarm. It's way flatter, more narrow, and is somehow even more chaotic. It looks like a war zone with bodies just everywhere. I legitimately can't tell who's hurt and who's just blocking the run for no reason. Right at the top of it is a rest area. I feel like the rest area would be better off lower down, where people are tired from skiing since no one has the stamina at this altitude to ski 3 miles all the way down, rather than right at the top where people are unloading a chairlift they just sat on for 15 minutes. And see, when everything is closed, you're mixing all of the advanced skiers with those who have just come from Dreamcatcher. Not a great combination. A common saying to describe how busy everything is, at least where I'm from, is, quote, everybody and their mother was there. But on Headin' Home, as my sister put it, quote, not only was everybody and their mother there, but also their grandmother and mother-in-law. The crowds on Headin' Home are best described as globs of people or a mass of humanity. For all you Texans, here's the reference. Headin' Home is busier than I-35 and the Katy Freeway combined. So yeah, Headin' Home isn't my favorite. See, having nothing open brings on the topic of boredom. For example, bored lodge-dwelling wives blocking the entire walkway to take their Instagram pictures, and bored teenagers tapping people's poles as they ski by for no reason other than to confuse and annoy them. I mean, I saw someone who was so bored that they were cawing back at a bird on the side of the run instead of actually skiing. Now you may be wondering, Shangray, how can you hate on the limited terrain when that's a result of low snow and nothing that the resort could control? Well, I hate to break it to you, but the resort could have done something about it. You see, Angel Fire has a really good snowmaking system because, well, it's a ski resort in New Mexico. And when I was there, in between dodging, ducking, dipping, diving, and dodging the entire city of Fort Worth on heading home, I looked down some of the closed runs like Free Flight. And funny enough, it had plenty of snow to open. I mean, I skied down Holy Gully about 15 times in 2 days, each time dwelling on one of the 15 runs that had enough snow but wasn't open. So why were all of those runs not open? Well, you see, the absolute geniuses in the Angel Fire snowmaking department decided to blow snow on all of the upper runs before blowing snow on the runout. So because all of the upper runs flow into that runout, none can open until the runout is ready. For some odd reason, every other resort I can think of blows snow on the runout first. It's almost like other resorts would rather open runs one at a time as they were ready throughout the month of December, instead of waiting to open 35 runs all at once in January. I feel like other resorts know something about early season crowd control that Angel Fire ought to learn. And speaking of poor snow, there's one stretch of Holy Gully that's so icy that I saw 5 people get stretchered off in 2 days. And those are only the ones I saw. While the rest of this video may be exaggerated or even completely made up, that is one element that I promise is entirely true. Holy Gully probably produces as many injuries as the rest of the mountain combined. I honestly feel bad for Angel Fire ski patrollers. Maybe the sheer volume of accidents is because they were beginners on a blue, but maybe having a sign saying easiest way down would help prevent some of those accidents, like at, I don't know, every other resort. I've heard Holy Gully nicknamed Carnage Hill, Massacre Mountain, Busy Gully, Hustle Bustle Ditch, Wipeout Ravine, and a couple of others that I can't say on YouTube, and honestly, all of them are pretty accurate. The other major run on the backside of the mountain is Hallelujah, which I have no problems with. However, to access Hallelujah, you have to take the so-called Green Road from Hell, called Highway. That's a pretty accurate name, as skiing Highway makes me feel like I'm skiing right down the middle of I-95 trying to get into New York City at rush hour. I mean, honestly, as an advanced skier from Colorado, skiing at Angel Fire and seeing all the shenanigans was just hilarious. Where else could you see not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 consecutive people ski straight off the snow and directly onto the wooden deck at the base area? Where else could you see a runaway snowboard heading down a run faster and faster until eventually jumping into the woods with no one around but you to witness it? And to be honest, that situation was kind of sad, like, bro, where's your owner? But I guess that would explain the kid I saw walking down the hill without any equipment, which struck me as odd when I first saw it. Legend has it that snowboard was never retrieved. And speaking of lost objects, can we talk about all of the stuff under the lift? I'm pretty sure that I counted 15 poles and gloves lost under the lift. I'm also pretty sure that if people just asked, Ski Patrol would go fetch it. So is Ski Patrol just too big and scary for all of you to go ask for help? Or is it just that social media has made us forget how to actually speak? Oh, and while we're on the topic of dropping things off the lift, what childhood trauma did you go through that is making all of y'all litter on this beautiful mountain? I mean, y'all came for a tranquil escape into nature, right? So why are y'all trying to destroy it by dropping dozens of cans and chip bags off the lift? Alright, this video is getting a bit long for a hater's guide, so let's speed it up a bit. Your newest lift isn't even from this century. You were planning a huge expansion in the 90s and have built absolutely nothing in 30 years. What happened? If you're going to Angel Fire to party, don't even bother. There is absolutely zero nightlife and it's an extremely small town. Now somebody, please explain to me why your entire village is made of wood. As backwards as it may sound, it's super slippery and antiquated and just looks old. What's the deal with your advertising? How are you going to promote being a beginner mountain when you have literally 3 greens? I'm quite concerned over your use of your people. I mean, we've got Captain Happy Mountain sitting here yelling at people who are perfectly in control to slow down, and a pair of employees scanning tickets on the backside lift that you have to ride to the frontside lift to get to, but yet I saw probably 100 people duck ropes during my 2 days at the resort, and not one person get caught. I've gotta say, I really love your 1 foot wide and non-existent sidewalks along all of your streets. What's the deal with constantly blaring 80s music in the base area? Not a problem regularly, but it really didn't seem to fit in with the fireworks show on New Year's Eve. You know, with all that snowmaking, it would be nice if you actually used it, but I guess it's not your fault that the temperature never goes below 39. There was a pair of skis abandoned in the middle of the run that was a legitimate safety hazard. Why is it that when I stop on the side of the trail so that I'm out of the way, some snowboarder sees me but still decides to jump off the side of the trail anyway, then lands on me, quickly gets up and runs, and yells, "Nice parking spot," as he escapes? I'm pretty sure I stopped in the best place possible, in a very visible location on the side of the trail. Can we please get a ramp for the Chili Express unload so I'm not getting hit by a chair every time I waddle away from the lift? I bet the people of Chile are very proud to have such a disaster of a mountain named a chairlift for their country. The Chili Express pod has this tangled mess of blues, roads, crossovers, and cut-throughs that make it nearly impossible to keep a group of greater than 3 together. You've got a run called Middle Finger. I'm sure that promotes a great environment. Why is Chile so long? Like, have you ever heard of this great invention called the Mid-Mountain Lift? All of your property owners have to have a membership, but for those of you who feel like throwing heaps of money at a below-average mountain, buy property and then upgrade your membership to Platinum, which lets you skip the lift lines. It wouldn't be corporate America if even the ski lifts weren't pay to win. Oh, and yeah, I guess with all that money from memberships, not only can you not afford to build a new lift, but you can't even afford to empty the trash in the village? And yes, this is a real picture of a real location in the Angel Fire base area. The one thing I did really like about Angel Fire was the Peruvian restaurant in a sketchy basement behind a ski shop that had a belly dancer with a sword balanced on her head. You heard me right. So does all this sound unappealing to you? Well, good thing Angel Fire has the only night skiing in New Mexico, which they shove down your throat from the moment you step onto the ground, so that you can avoid all that madness, or so they claim. With that, I welcome you to the Angel Fire night skiing experience. First things first, you'll walk through the village in darkness. Oh yeah, if you thought it was slick earlier, how about now that all the water on the stairs has frozen? On the night skiing runs, there are like 3 lights all on the very edge, so if your eyes don't adapt to the dark very well, good freaking luck. Oh, and you'll get to sit in a 20-minute lift line. For night skiing. Unbelievable. One of my favorite memories from my trip was this couple that I saw sitting on the side of heading home during the afternoon rush sharing a Coke. All I could think was, oh, I'm sure this is a great view of 1,000 people all nearly crashing into each other. Then, at the very end of my trip, I found myself wondering, how is it slushy in December? Oh yeah, it's because we're skiing in Texas. That just about sums up the Angel Fire experience. And of course, every time you walk down the main street, you'll see this sign for Vail Avenue to remind you of just where you could have been. But yet, you ended up at Angel Fire. So at the end of the day, yeah, Angel Fire's got its issues. But remember that this is in no way a review, and your experience will most likely be much better than I just described. Don't take life too seriously, guys. All my love, I'm out.